Hey, what's up, sports bettors? Alex here. This video I'm super excited to bring to you. It is the Sports Illustrated $7.5 thousand risk-free bet. Your first bet loses, you get back $7.5K in free bets. So initially we thought Caesars was crazy for offering a $5,000 risk-free bet, but here Sports Illustrated is offering a $7.5 thousand risk-free bet. Your first bet loses. If you're in the state of Colorado and you have access to Sports Illustrated, you get back $7,500 in free bets. So the first thing we have to do is we have to click into the terms of this promo, and you'll see, like all other sportsbooks, only your first bet will qualify towards this promotion, and you must place your first bet within 7 days of your first deposit. What's also nice about Sports Illustrated is they give you your free bet tokens back in quantities of $500, right? So if we were to play 7.5K risk-free and our first bet were to lose, they would give us 15 tokens for a $500 free bet. So the first thing that's interesting about Sports Illustrated, it was a bit of a pain to get set up with, to say the least, and that's because the cashier only allows you to bet, or only allows you to deposit $600. So according to the terms, you're only allowed to place your first risk-free bet after your first deposit. So I emailed support, talked to the support agent, and was like, hey, I can't even deposit more than $600. Can I deposit, over 10 times, numerous times, to get to the 7.5K that I need to place the risk-free bet? And they said, sure. So I placed a bunch of deposits to get to $7.5 thousand. Your first deposit has to use the promo code $7,500 back. And then I tried to place my bet. So the first thing that's interesting, which I would like to note, is it's not actually a $7.5 thousand risk-free bet. And I'll tell you why it's not. It's because they never allow you to bet 7.5K. I tried to bet on the Raptors money line, NBA main market money line. I tried to bet 7.5K, and they didn't accept my wager, and they gave me 38.46.15. So they gave me roughly, $4,000 in my risk-free bet, which is great. It's not as great as obviously a 7.5K risk-free bet, but still, $4,000. They weren't letting me bet anything close to 7.5K, whether it was a total market, whether it was a point spread market. It didn't matter. It didn't specifically depend on the odds. This was the highest amount I could find that they would give me, which was 3.8K on Raptors money line at plus 130 odds. So we got our risk-free bet on Raptors money line, 3.8K plus 130 odds on Sports Illustrated. Now, because people have asked in other videos, I'm going to show how you can hedge your risk-free bet to guarantee yourself a profit. But the first thing you need to know is a little bit about free bets, right? So what we can do is we can go to the low holds page, and you can see that free bet conversion rates, you should be able to get over 75%. If you lose your first bet on Sports Illustrated, they're not giving you back cash. They're giving you back free bets up to your total stake. So our first bet was 3.8K, so they're going to give us 3.8K back in free bets if the Blazers win tonight, right? They're not giving us back cash that we can withdraw from our account. So they're giving us back free bets, which means we don't get back our principal if we lose, right? Like if we place a free bet on a team at plus 100 odds, we place a $100 free bet, we don't get back our stake of $100 in the free bet if our bet wins. We only get back the profit. So the math for free bet conversions means it's inherently worse than cash. And typically what we assume is you should be able to get a free bet conversion rate of roughly 75%. Like you can see right here, I have BetMGM selected on the OddsJam low holds page. But let's say we want to go to Fanduel. You should even be able to get better. You can get 85% on Fanduel. You should be able to get better than 75%. We're just saying as a floor, you should be able to get 75%. That means you should be able to convert your free bets 75 cents on the dollar into cash risk-free if you want to. So we're going to go through the math, but what you can see is, for the sake of example, I don't from a mathematical standpoint, hedging rarely makes sense, but for this video, I hedged part of my bet. So I placed, so I have some random positive expected value bets on Tulane, but that's not relevant. So for the sake of this video, I hedged out 1.5K on the Blazers minus 150 on WinBet and another 2K on the Blazers minus 150 on DraftKings, which is also kind of nice because on DraftKings I have a 30% deposit bonus up to $1,000 with a playthrough of 20 times. So I have to bet a lot. I have to bet 20 grand on DraftKings anyways. I'm not in Colorado that long. So I figured I'd hedge a bit of it. And also people have asked, how can you place a risk-free bet and guarantee yourself a profit? So again, we have 2 bets or 3 bets placed technically. We have Raptors moneyline, 3,846.15 on this new Sports Illustrated book. They're not going to give you 7.5K. I tried. Maybe you'll get lucky and they'll give you 7.5K. I couldn't get anywhere close to 7.5K. This was the best I could find, 38.46.15 on Raptors plus 130. And then we bet 3.5K on Blazers minus 150 on WinBet and DraftKings, right? So if we go here, so we can go here to my bets and we can see I have Blazers 2,000. And again, we're assuming we can convert our free bets into cash at a rate of 75%. At the minimum, like you should be able to get 85% if you're looking for it, but at a minimum, you should be able to convert your free bets risk-free into cash at a rate of 75% if you want to. So let's go through the math. So on Sports Illustrated, we bet the maximum they would give us 38.46.15 on Raptors plus 130 money line. So if the Raptors win, we have $5,000 in profit in our Sports Illustrated account. That's cash. We can withdraw that from our account. If we lose, we don't lose the full 38.46.15, right? We get back 38.46.15 in free bets, right? We get back 38.46 in free bets, and we assume we can convert those free bets into cash, at a rate of 75%. So we have some other videos on free bets and low holds and stuff like that you can look at, but that means, we should be able to convert our 38.46.15 into, 28.84 in cash if we wanted to, completely risk-free. So if our bet on Sports Illustrated loses, what this means is we're not losing, right? We're not losing 3.846K. This is a risk-free bet. We're getting back 3.846K in free bets, which we should be able to convert into 28.84 cash pretty easily. That's a very conservative estimate. You should be able to get 80% or better, which means if your bet loses, if the Raptors lose, you're actually only losing $961 by placing this bet on the Raptors. So if the Raptors lose, you'd actually only be losing roughly $961 on Sports Illustrated based on the standard free bet conversion rate of 75%, which should be very attainable. So that's the great thing about a risk-free bet. If our first bet loses, we don't lose the full stake because we get free bets back. We only lose about 20-25% of that, even 15% if you're looking hard enough. So we can also look at the current pinnacle market for this game, plus 138, minus 153. So if we put that into a zero vig calculator to back out the fair win probability for the Raptors and Blazers, what's the point of indifference when you remove the juice from sportsbooks? Adding in juice is how sportsbooks, it's how they make money. So we want to remove the juice to get an estimation of the fair win probability. And you can see the Raptors are roughly fair, plus 143.93. The Blazers are roughly fair odds, minus 143.93. And the Raptors should be winning this game 41% of the time. Right? So the Raptors should be winning this game 41% of the time. They should be losing this game 59% of the time. Right? So for the sake of example, we hedged 3.5K of our bet on, again, DraftKings right here and also WinBet right here. Right? So we hedged 3,499. So long story short, if the Blazers win, we're winning, $34.99 times 100 over 150, so 2.3K profit. That's our hedge bet. And again, I don't recommend hedging. Like, hedging wouldn't be recommended in this scenario. You can see the Blazers are fair minus 144 odds. So minus 150 odds, it's not a good price. The only reason I'm doing this is for the sake of example and to show you that you can convert these risk-free bets into cash risk-free. So now essentially we know either the Blazers are going to win, the Raptors are going to win. One of these teams has to win. So if the Raptors win, we lose $499 on win and DraftKings combined on Blazers minus 150 odds, right? So we lose $34.99 on, Blazers minus 150, but we win roughly $5,000 from our Sports Illustrated risk-free bet. That's cash. We can withdraw it from our account. Our profit is $5,000 on Sports Illustrated. So our net profit would be $5,000 minus $34.99, so roughly 1.5K, right? And at the same time, if the Raptors lose, we are winning 2.3, K from our bets on win and DraftKings combined, betting 3.5K at minus 150 odds on the Blazers, but we're losing $961, assuming a free bet conversion rate of 75%. And again, if you're able to get 80%, then, this would go down to $769. And you should be able to get a free bet conversion rate of 80%. You just have to look for it. But we'll be conservative, say, okay, you get these free bets back from Sports Illustrated. You can only convert them into cash at a rate of 75%. So on our risk-free bet, we're going to be losing, we're only going to be getting back 75% of the money we bet on Sports Illustrated. So we're going to be losing $961 net. But we profited 2.3K by betting on win and DraftKings on the Blazers minus 150 odds. Right? So if the Blazers win the game, our net profit would be 2332.6667 minus 961.53, assuming a free bet conversion rate of 75%. In other words, we can convert this lost money on Sports Illustrated, this 3.846K in risk-free bets or in free bets if we lose, into cash at a rate of 75%, which should be pretty easy. So this essentially means the Sports Illustrated 7.5K risk-free bet, we weren't even able to bet anywhere close to 7.5K for our initial wager. I tried, and I had to, deposit like 15 frickin' times to get my money into Sports Illustrated, and I couldn't even place the bet, but whatever. You should be able, we can see here that basically I'm indifferent to the Raptors or Blazers winning. If the Raptors win, I have $1,500 in profit, guaranteed in my account. I can withdraw that money directly from Sports Illustrated. That's my money. That's my profit. Now, if the Blazers win, I get back 3,846.15 in free bets on DraftKings, which I can convert at a rate of 75% into cash using the low holds page on OddsJam, right? It should be very easy to get 75%. You can see we have Fanduel selected here, and you can get 85% right now. So you should be able to get 75% extremely easily. And what that means is if the Blazers win, this Sports Illustrated risk-free bet should turn out to be $1,371 in profit. So long story short, this promotion, for me at least, based on hedging, hedging wasn't mathematically profitable, but we did it for the sake of example, is regardless of what happens, I'm making roughly 1.5K, right? So we turned this risk-free bet on Sports Illustrated into 1.5K, which isn't a small amount of money. So is it a little bit of false advertising saying it's a $7,500 risk-free bet? A little bit, because I couldn't even find anything to bet 7.5 grand on. But at the same time, we earned roughly $1,500 in cash risk-free, just doing a little bit of work if the Raptors lose to convert our free bets into cash. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, the very hyped up Sports Illustrated Sportsbook in Colorado, their 7.5K risk-free bet. So again, you have to remember to use that promo code, whatever it was. We're not affiliated to Sports Illustrated Sportsbook. This is just the promo code that's on their site. it was a 7,500 back or something like that. And then your risk-free bet, it has to be your first bet. So if you're depositing 7.5K, your first bet, whatever bet you place first, is, you know, what you get money back on if you lose. It's not like you can break up your bet into 2 or 3 bets. That's not how these promotions work on sportsbooks. So pretty cool promotion. We guaranteed ourselves, you know, again, roughly 1.5K in cash. And I also got to play through some of my $1,000, you know, deposit bonus on DraftKings, which is literally a free $1,000 from DraftKings. So I hope you found this video helpful. Any questions you have, you can reach out to me. And thank you so much.